I'm Kyle. I'm doing a project called 90 Days of Discipline. For 90 days, I'm going to go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week without using a trainer or any classes. And the second part is I'm going to go through a diet where I take out 5 things. No alcohol, no soda, no cookies, no crackers or chips, and no fast food burgers. That's the majority of bad things in my diet. So I thought if I cut those out, what would the results look like? I don't really have specific goals like benching a certain number or gaining X amount of weight or anything like that. What I'd really like to try and do is see how much weight I can gain and how much muscle I can put on. I've never really dedicated myself to doing something like that. So that's kind of the general goal as far as getting bigger and physically fit. I'd also like to be able to get back to dunking like I used to, and that was something I really enjoyed, so I think with the right workout I'll be able to do something like that. And finally, I'd like to try and run a mile in under 6 minutes. I hate running, so that's why I had to add that goal in. If I didn't do that, then I would never actually make this into a real fitness challenge. I'm not going to be the biggest guy in the gym, I'm not going to be the fastest guy on the track, and I'm definitely not going to be the highest jumping white guy. What I will find out is if I can discipline myself enough for 90 days to follow a strict diet and try and put in the time and dedication that it takes to get your body to another level.
So what do you think is going to be the hardest part for you?
Definitely following the diet, because I won't have the cameras around me all the time. I'm not going to be anybody looking over my shoulder, and really, having a cookie here or having a burger there isn't going to ruin the results of the experiment. So really it's going to be about disciplining myself and seeing how much willpower I have to maintain a strict diet.
So here we are, day 30. How do you feel now that we're about a month into this thing?
Just as far as my body itself, I feel so much better from the standpoint that I have more energy and I'm stronger in the gym. Like, I can just feel it. And obviously you look better when you do that too. So day 30 is good right now, but there's still 60 days to go. And I think that's where it's going to get hard, because you start to hit walls each time. We talked about the diet, and the diet was really not eating certain things. What I found is if I want to get bigger, I have to eat good things, but not just eat good things, eat a lot of them. And I'm not a kind of person that eats frequently just because. I only eat if I'm hungry. So to force myself, I have to eat a lot of good things. So it's been a lot of nuts, fruits. The only thing I've really added that's out of the normal would be a protein shake pretty much after every workout. Nothing huge, it's like 30 grams of protein, but that's basically it. So now I'm trying to eat a lot of fish and chicken as far as main meals, and not so much on the red meat. It's difficult to push yourself to your absolute limit by yourself, not even thinking about the motivation that somebody else gives you. So for me, the hardest part is going to be making sure I stay motivated for 60 days, because you start to see the results and you want to take it a little bit easier. But I have to really push through that and stay mentally disciplined to go through all the way.
So you mentioned you wanted to get to a 6-minute mile. Where are we at with that?
Frankly, I don't feel like the 6-minute mile is going to be that difficult, so I'm not putting a huge emphasis on training for it. I will start doing, I really need to baseline myself. I haven't baselined, so I don't know what I run a mile in right now. But I feel like the more I get in shape, the easier the mile is going to be. So I think I can probably start training for that around day 45. If I'm way off, then I'll need to pick it up. But I think the 6-minute mile will be waiting for a little bit more.
So day 60, how do you feel?
Feel good. I feel better than I did at day 30, and not just from a physical standpoint, but not just like a part of my body, but everything feels good. It's nice to see going through. I used to not do anything with legs or running or anything like that. And even though I don't like to work out the legs as much or do the running, it's necessary to do what I want to do, and I actually feel really good. Around day 40, I felt like I had a peak, and then when you're training, you go through peaks and valleys, and I think that around day 40, I definitely started to hit a valley where it was hard for me to lift, so I was in the middle of switching up routines, and that's always a little bit difficult. So day 40 to day 45, maybe 50, was tough, and then I went on a trip where I didn't work out at all for 3 or 4 days to take a break. And the break was good, I think, because now I'm in the gym and I'm able to work a lot harder than I was before. But yeah, I'm coming into a new. I think I'm going to reach a new peak here soon. So I'm hoping these last 30 days I can push it.
What happened today, day 60, on the basketball court?
Yeah, what happens with outdoor dunking, there's a couple different things. You know, when you're not that high above the rim, there's a lot of factors that come into play that you have to be aware of. So one is the court surface is slippery, so you can't take off as hard because you'll just slip. So that's one thing versus like a hardwood floor, which is what we'll do the day 90 dunking on. That's huge. Another thing that's probably the second biggest factor is the rims on an outdoor court aren't breakaway. So when I dunk, I usually bring it with a lot of force, and that's what brings the rim down, and that's how I'm able to get the dunk through. On courts like this, I can't bring the rim down, and therefore the ball is, like, a lot of times it's going to bounce just out or bounce back, or I'll be short of it, you know, and hit it on the front of the rim. So that's typically what the problem is. I mean, there's a million different factors when you're out here. Also, you do get a little bit of extra bounce on hardwood just because it's a springier floor than concrete. So that was the factor, but it's not really an excuse. I got one down, but you know, it's right there.
Day 90, you did it. What did you take away from this experience?
First thing was probably the diet. I realized that it's a lot better to not be doing so many of the things that I was doing, even if they were infrequent. I just feel a lot better that way. And then getting back to working out consistently is really important, because now, I mean, I feel good, but it feels natural. Like, I feel normal this way. It's not like, oh, I felt bad and now I feel really good like I was at like day 30 and day 60. Now day 90, it's kind of like, this is just my lifestyle, and it's really become kind of that as a lifestyle thing, and I definitely like to try and carry that forward because it's been really good. If I was going to do this again, I probably would try to get a partner or a coach. I felt that I did pretty well with this. I set out to do, you know, 90 days of discipline, and it was cool that I was able to do that because, you know, I really stuck with it, and I'm happy that's how it happened. But having somebody there alongside you, like a trainer or a coach or even just a workout partner, is so huge, especially when you're trying to gain weight or, you know, just push yourself. It's a lot easier when somebody else is there doing it with you.
So let's go through the 3 goals that you set out at the beginning of this thing. Number 1, get bigger. Where were you at through this process with that?
I did get bigger. I gained about 10 pounds during the 3 months. I lost a couple pounds to start to get rid of some fat stuff, and then I think that the rest of it was mostly just from working out and eating more of the right things. So I did get bigger. Yeah, everything just grew a little bit. I'm sure you'll be able to see that.
And second goal was to run a mile in under 6 minutes.
I was so happy. I got it in 5:59.5. So I was actually really surprised. If I was going to change something in the experiment, I probably would have added more running. It was just something I didn't put a lot of emphasis on. So if I had put more emphasis on it, it would have been a lot easier to make that goal. But I did make it, so I was happy to do that.
And goal number 3, probably the most fun part of this whole thing for you was the dunking.
Yeah, so about halfway through this experiment, dunking really became the thing that was important to me. You know, working out and running the mile, I mean, those were good things to do, but the dunking is the fun part. So being able to get to where I got to in just a couple months, I'm proud of that, and I'm happy that I was able to do it, you know, in the time that I was given. So it's been really good, and as I'm sure you'll be able to see, the progression is better than what I thought it would be, to be honest.
What are you going to do now? Are you going to go back to the old way of doing things, stick with this, or try something new?
I'm hoping the pendulum doesn't swing all the way to the other side now. No, I actually do plan to keep a lot of stuff, especially with the diet, but also the working out. It's just shown me how much better I feel when I'm active. So I'm hoping to kind of maintain that level. You know, when I get back into working full time, it's not going to be as easy. But then again, I don't need to be doing as much as I was during this 90 days. So making sure that I kind of keep those good habits that were built is going to be really important, and not sliding back, you know, to the other side. I'm Kyle Pearson, and I did 90 days of discipline.